Hey all, so in a lot of my comments, and in a lot of discourse about Puzzlevision in general, I see many people theorize that Mr. Puzzles and Puzzlevision are actually the God box, or that they are connected to it in some way, such as Mr. Puzzles being another victim of being granted power from it similar to Niles. In this video, I want to outright debunk this theory, as I believe Mr. Puzzles has absolutely zero relation to the God box, or to SMG0/Niles for that matter. So the most obvious evidence against the theory that these two are related comes not from any hints in the SMG4 series itself, but rather from the simple fact that SMG4 has stated very clearly that the Cosmology lore is finished, as can be seen in the description of the Revelations arc playlist. The creators have therefore explicitly stated that no new Cosmology lore will be added to the series, and so obviously that would include bringing back the God box to the series. This is a wise decision from a production standpoint, as the Cosmology saga ended almost exactly 2 years ago now, so not everyone will have watched the saga, or may remember all the important parts of the lore. The fact that no attempt has been made so far to re-establish the Cosmology lore for new viewers is pretty solid evidence in my opinion, that they are not planning to expand the lore anytime soon. And quite frankly, while I would like element of the Cosmology lore to be brought up again more frequently and expanded upon, such as the meme guardian roles and meme transmutation, I think the Puzzlevision saga and lore are better off being their own separate thing, as tying it to the Cosmology lore just inherently makes it less interesting in my opinion. But there's also solid evidence within the SMG4 series itself that Puzzlevision and the God box are unconnected. The strongest of which comes from the very beginning of the Puzzlevision saga in the It's Gotta Be Perfect movie. In this dialogue, Tari asks if the demonic goop could be SMG0, which SMG3 flatly denies, and suggests it is something entirely different. Since we know Mr. Puzzles gave the demonic keyboard to SMG4, and so therefore likely created it, to me this bit of dialogue is a clear message from the writers that the Puzzlevision saga will have no connection to the Cosmology lore, with the placement of this line being in the first movie of the saga feeling like an intentional decision by the writers to shut that theory down immediately. Some may argue that a relation to the God box is not ruled out as Terry specifically mentions SMG0, but that name was likely just used because Niles or the God box are probably less known terms. There's not really any other evidence in the series that contradicts the idea of a relation between the two, but there is also no real evidence that suggests there is in fact a relation, and so in my opinion, that lack of evidence for a connection is in itself evidence for there being no connection. After all, if Puzzlevision was a reincarnation of the God box or something, surely there would have been some sort of hint towards that by now, after over a year of the Puzzlevision saga. But some people have actually argued there is evidence of a God box connection in the series, but quite frankly, the evidence they put forward is not convincing at all. I don't think I need to tell you why this argument is very nonsensical. It's on the same level as arguing Mr. Puzzles has a TV for a head, and TVs are box shaped, therefore Mr. Puzzles is the God box. These next two arguments are much more convincing, but I think there's a different explanation for the Iron Zero imagery used in It's Gotta Be Perfect, which I've explained beforehand, so I will reuse that explanation. The recurrent I and O symbolism might remind you of the symbolism used for SMG0/Niles in the Cosmology saga, and moreover, like how Niles was obsessed with creating a perfect universe, SMG4 was obsessed with creating a perfect video, and this led SMG4 to almost possibly destroying his own universe, like how Niles destroyed his. Clearly, this phase may have had a dark implication that SMG4 was on the path to becoming the next Niles, before being saved by his friends. They also mention that the control panel seen in WotFi 2023, when Mr. Puzzles is revealed, seems to have a symbol on it similar to the God box symbol. I highly doubt this means anything, as that control panel model is likely a pre-existing model, rather than an original model made for the SMG4 series. The last convincing argument put forward is this one here. This coincidence can probably just be ignored as nothing more than exactly that, a coincidence. This is largely because we have no idea what the God Box's motivation for granting the wishes of Niles and SMG4 was, whereas we know Mr. Puzzles was not really granting wishes, more so he was just manipulating events in order to create good entertainment. It is highly unlikely that the God Box also wanted to create entertainment, as Niles would go on to attempt to destroy all of the universes such as the SMG4 universe, and since the avatars and SMGs create entertainment in these universes, that would seem highly counterproductive for the God Box to enable. The only other argument that could be made is the fact that there are still lingering mysteries about the God Box that were left unanswered, such as what its ultimate goal was by granting Niles the power of a virus capable of destroying and creating universes. But in my opinion, it's more probable that the writers didn't want to answer every question in the Cosmology lore in order to keep it interesting to discuss even after the Cosmology saga ended. Thanks for watching.